All right, to demonstrate curve to curve, I'm going to take these distinct plates and I'm going to change this edge between them to a curve and keep this face fixed. So I want this plate to match this curve. And I've already made that here. And I'll walk you through what I did. So to do that, you go to Insert, Features, Deform. And then I first selected the initial edge and the final edge. So it's turning this edge into that edge. And you'll see that it moved the entire part with it. Now, this little tab here is what made it that uniform all the way across is just the uniform selection. If you want to add more edges at once, you do that with this plus button, and you toggle between them with the arrow keys. You use the minus to get rid of extras. So now that we have the initial and final edge set, and we've made it go uniform across, I'll go ahead and just accept that. As for this one, I've already completed that deform, and I've kept this edge fixed while pulling the other side up to match. To walk through that one, which is a little more complicated, I again selected this top edge up to that top edge. As a note, if at any point the edges aren't connecting correctly, like it's trying to connect this corner up to that corner, just pull the pink bar across the edge you've selected and it will adjust accordingly. I kept it uniform, but in this case I also fixed a face, and that's this one right here. If I don't fix that face, you'll see that's very similar to what happened for this first plate. And uniform will change it accordingly from more of the original geometry to more of the new geometry. So let's return it to being fixed down at this plate. And, oh, well, this is interesting. It doesn't have the same curvature as it did the first time. Well, you can change that with these selections here. The rigidity option changes if it has a very sharp change between them, or if it keeps more of the geometry of each side and fades more in the center. This option right here, shape accuracy, is essentially the quality of the change. It makes it a smoother, nicer build. So you can see that there's a little jaggedness going on the edges here, but if we improve the shape accuracy, it's much smoother. There's also options to change if you care, like how to weight which side matters more. If you care more about your initial side or your final side, for like or more so the fixed geometry versus the final geometry. So fixed geometry, final geometry. And then you can change your tangencies with these selections at the bottom here. Now, as a note, I recommend very strongly to not use this as a loft tool. Like right here, how I deformed this original plate up to this edge, make sure that you have geometry already there to pull. Don't use this tool to create new geometry, because I could have taken this edge of this first plate and pulled it down here. The deform tool doesn't like that. It's a deform tool. Treat it like molding clay. Give it the clay to work with, and then mess with the tangencies and mess with your shape options to make it look nice from there. If you want additional faces or bodies to be deformed along with it, you can select that with these options, but for this example, I only wanted to fix a singular face. All right, and that is the curve to curve.